Well, hello there and welcome back to a brand new video where today is a very exciting day because today is the day, ladies and gentlemen, Xbox have finally announced the acquisition between Microsoft and Bethesda. If you guys remember, I posted a video probably a good, 5 months ago now? Well, back in September on the 21st, to be precise, if you guys are curious, back in 2020, it's crazy to say back in 2020 when, we're now in March. This year it's flying by. I do wish it would slow down just a little bit, but I do enjoy the weekends coming a little bit faster, but then my life just goes faster, and in a blink of an eye, I'll be retired, maybe. Who knows? But anyway, we're going off topic slightly. But anyway, today is the day, ladies and gentlemen, that Xbox have finally announced the acquisition. Obviously, back in September of last year, they did kind of announce that they were entering the acquisition, and obviously, big acquisitions do take a long time to get approved, and I believe the European Union announced a few days ago that they have approved the acquisition, hence why Xbox have finally announced the acquisition of Bethesda. So on the month of 9th. No, what you on about, mate? What you on about, mate? On the 9th of March, so a few days ago, Xbox released this kind of press note, and basically they've said officially welcoming Bethesda to Team Xbox. There's an exciting day for Xbox today. We officially complete the acquisition of ZeniMax Media, so the parent company of Bethesda Softworks. It's an honor to welcome the 8 incredible, talented development studios, so Bethesda Game Studios, ID Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arkan Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, AlphaDog, and Roundhouse Studios. So it's a very exciting time, especially if you are an Xbox guy. Now, there were a lot of concerns when we first heard about this. I even brought some up in terms of, okay, will they now just make exclusive games to Xbox? What will happen with Fallout games? What will happen with the existing games? Will there be kind of a period maybe when like a new Fallout game comes out where, let's say that it might be on Xbox for maybe the first month? I don't know. Like we see with Call of Duty, for example, where, PlayStation have an exclusive agreement that all DLC comes out a month earlier than Xbox. And obviously back in the day, back in 2008, Xbox had that exclusivity as well. So I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting time. But if you guys were curious, it's officially done, ladies and gentlemen. I can't exactly remember how much it went for. Wasn't it like a ridiculous amount of money? I think it was, right? I'm just trying to find the conference. The conference. Yes, Matt. You go and try and find the conference, mate. Like, it's not going to be the conference. What I'm going to try and say is the article, and there it is. It was a $7.5 billion deal, which is very exciting indeed. Now, the next bit to talk about is as of tomorrow, so on March 12th. They have announced that the Xbox Game Pass, which is something which Microsoft are pretty much promoting because you get Xbox Live as well as a list or a catalog of multiple games, which I think you kind of like stream, but you kind of like download to your console, a bit like PS Now, for example. But definitely Xbox Game Pass has like a lot of games. But basically, as of tomorrow, 20 games from Bethesda will be joining the list. So if you have an Xbox Game Pass, you'll be able to play a bunch of games. And those include, for example, Doom, Doom 2, Dishonored, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Wolfenstein, for example. And they even announced, they've even released this kind of like nice image in a way where you can now play 20 iconic Bethesda days. What are you on about, mate? You can now play 20 iconic Bethesda games on your PC, console, and mobile. Now, I've never purchased the Game Pass. I've heard good things about it. So if you do have it, please let me know. Are you excited? I do have like EA Play, and that's pretty good in terms of EA Access, you could say. That's kind of a bit like a Game Pass in a way, but I've never actually like bought one, either for PlayStation or Xbox. I normally just buy the game outright, but I understand, even from a Game Pass point of view, what is exciting is the fact that you buy it and you have a list of all these games without needing to actually buy these games individually. Obviously, you pay like a monthly subscription fee and you have access to these games, which is very exciting, to be honest. I know there was one service, I don't know if it was PS Now. I remember a few years ago, it could be completely wrong, or I guess it's right. I could be right in some ways, but I remember reading something a while ago, probably a good few years ago, where like if it was either PS Now or Xbox Game Pass, where you wouldn't download the games, you would stream them. So you would always have to have access to the internet, and when you would stream those games, it would be like 720p, like it wouldn't be amazing quality. I think that's probably changed right now, because obviously, you know, that was like 2-3 years ago. But yeah, I've never really like understood. I understand what the Game Pass is, but I've never actually got into it or used it. I might do a video actually comparing PS Now versus Game Pass. So let me know if you guys do want to see that. But something which is interesting, and we'll end on this. So Phil Spencer, obviously the head of Xbox, says that future Bethesda games will be exclusive to platforms where Game Pass exists. So this was kind of not the worrying factor, but basically, let's say like the next Fallout game which comes out, basically based on this comment and statement, the next Fallout game will essentially be exclusive to platforms where the Game Pass exists. Now, what's interesting is he doesn't say PC or Xbox. He says where the Game Pass exists. So I have a feeling, maybe this is just, you know, my thoughts right now, but, you know, it could be true, who knows. But do you think we'll get to a point where PlayStation players could essentially subscribe to the Xbox Game Pass and play games on their PlayStation? Probably not, but you never know. I mean, we never thought crossplay would be a thing, and now it is. So it's going to be an interesting time. It's going to be interesting. And an article which I'm currently reading from, basically says it's the question everyone has been eager to have answered since the news broke that Microsoft was acquiring Bethesda. Head of Xbox Phil Spencer has now clarified Microsoft's stance on exclusivity for future Bethesda games. He did mention that there's a lot of contractual obligations between different publishers, because obviously they bought, you know, a bunch of developers and stuff like that. So there will be, like, you know, they'll have to warrant all those things. But no, it does kind of look like that future games will be exclusive to where the Xbox Game Pass exists. So basically, so far right now, all new games, like for example, like a new Fallout game, new Elder Scrolls, you know, those games will be exclusive to the PC and the Xbox One. So it's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be interesting. I mean, to be fair, Xbox over the last few years haven't really done that well in terms of exclusive games. I've always found that Sony and PlayStation have done a wonderful job with exclusive games. Yes, the Xbox have Forza, they have Halo, they have Gears of War, but they don't necessarily have, like for me, in my personal opinion, they don't necessarily have newer content, like newer games, which are like, wow, like those are legacy titles in terms of they've been around for a long time. Whereas, you know, for example, Sony, for example, like The Last of Us, which I played Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2, wow, like for me, that was amazing. And Ratchet and Clank, yes, a legacy title, but a phenomenal game. And Gran Turismo, I mean, there's a lot of games, and I have an Xbox Series X simply before the exclusivity. I can't even speak. But no, it's going to be interesting. But we finally found out that future games will be exclusive to where platforms have the Xbox Game Pass. So right now, PC, mobile, and Xbox. So it's going to be an interesting time. What are your thoughts about this? If you're an Xbox person, are you excited? If you're a PlayStation person, let me know what are your thoughts about this. But anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, then be sure to massive thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, comment on thoughts regarding this. But anyway, guys, have a wonderful day, and as always, in my next video, adios, chaps, boom. She's a diamond.